Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Will Smith stars as the father of tennis stars Venus and Serena Williams in the new movie King Richard in theaters and HBO Max this Friday. I spoke with director Reinaldo Marcus Green of Monsters and Men and co-star Jon Bernthal of The Walking Dead about why they both believe this is Will Smith's year to finally win an Oscar. Thanks so much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, I got to say, every year at Christmas, it was my family tradition, run out and see the new Will Smith movie. And this falls right in line with that. You got that perfect blend of, Oscar season coming up, but also, family themes, sports flick, inspiration, all that stuff. But tell us what King Richard is about. Remind them who Richard Williams was.
So Richard Williams is the father of Venus and Serena Williams, as we know. Two of the greatest athletes of all time, but also, father, husband, business extraordinaire. He's a very, very, he's been in the media a lot. He's been portrayed in the media for a long time, and this story of King Richard is a different side of who we have come to know Richard to be. It's the family story, and we have Richard as played by Will Smith in our film. As an opportunity to see a very nuanced three-dimensional character, someone that was there for his children, someone that provided love and time and commitment in a way that maybe you can't see when you just click on a link on the internet. And hopefully the film will show you what Richard meant to the Williams family, still to this day, how involved he is in his daughter's lives, and the man we've come to know.
That's such a good point. You say, you see a different side than just the links you click on the internet, or even memories we remember in pop culture and media coverage. Because, we all remember, any sports fans anyway, the story that, he saw Virginia, Rizici win the French Open in 78 and then writes this big 85-page plan. I'm going to, groom my future daughters to do this. Of course, one won the U.S. Open in 99. The other one won Wimbledon in 2000. And these articles you're talking about, and there's video footage jumping over the broadcast booth of NBC to do the victory dance and shout straight out of Compton. I mean, there's all this juicy stuff, but I guess talk about how you set out to show that. I mean, you had to capture the famous media side because we're familiar with it, and that's juicy stuff. But also, just talk about how you tried to show a different side.
Well, I think it comes to the relationships that we depict in the film. John's character, played by Rick Macy, his relationship to Paul Cohen, some of the coaches that he interacted with in the film, and of course his wife, played by Anjanou Ellis. And through those relationships that we depict in the film, you can see a real person, someone that has real feelings and is like you said, like we mentioned, the 85 page plan. If you look on the internet, it's 76 pages, it's 78, it's 83, it's 86, it's all over. And there's so many different versions of what that is. And this is told from the family's perspective. Isha Price, who's a producer on the film, and Lindaria Price, who's also a costumer. We had real family members who were also a part of our movie, who were helping to guide us with what they remember their stories to be and their perspective of their family. And then through the relationships, through real human interactions, we get a different side of Richard. And in particular with John's character, which is obviously a huge portion of our film. You see how much love and respect and admiration that they had for each other. What as forceful of a presence that Richard is, he's also met by other people who challenge him to think differently, who challenge him to to be in certain situations. And I think that's what the film hopefully does, and opens up a different side to the family than we think we know.
Oh yeah, and John, let's get you in here. I mean, he just mentioned, you play, their famous coach. I know he also coached Andy Roddick and Jennifer Capriati. The list goes on and on. But how fun was it to step in and play? It's like it's this mentor role, and also kind of triangulate that off. You have the dad, sort of this helicopter parent, to your lack of a better term. But then, what do you think your character sort of brings as, I guess, more of the actual official coach, and that dynamic between the four of them?
Look, I think, I mean, look, this film and this experience for me, and I think I can speak for the rest of the cast. It was just pure joy, the whole way in. Every person who worked on it, every department, Ray, Will, the cat. It was just, it was real. It was real joy. I think it was this sort of beautiful meditation on fatherhood and on family. That I think it just really, really resonated. And I think that, the kind of artist that Ray is, and how generous he is, and it just permeates the movie. So how did it feel? It was joy. I think for me, and with Rick Macy specifically, I think the thing that resonated with me off the bat is just he has this pure love for the game. And I think when you take a guy like Richard Williams and whatever sort of stigma he has going in, and all these kind of misconceptions and false preconceptions that we have to somebody, I think we look at somebody who raises such unbelievably successful kids, we figure that it's sort of like overbearing and suffocating. And what I think you find is this just unbelievable sort of enormous love and respect, and this real desire for the kids to become themselves and flourish, and there's so much protection there. And I think with Rick Macy, you look at these coaches, and I think you automatically assume that they're in it for the money, or that they have this end goal. But I think, again, what both permeated the experience of making the film, and what I think will really, really sort of seep into the audience, is that what it is these people just, they love this family. They loved each other. There was so much love in this family that what these two men really connected on was this absolute love and adoration of these kids. And I think this tough point that comes in any coach's life or any parent's life, where the kid's got to go fly, where you got to watch the kid go fly and go be their own person, and how hard that is. And I think this film kind of tells that story in a way no other film has. And I think it's a real testament to the kind of artist Ray is, and just how generous and how much love was on that set.
Now, Ray, he's talking about, the love and protectiveness of a parent, and then letting them fly. Did you feel that with the two actors, child actresses that play Venus and Serena? What is it? How do you say it? Sanaya Sidney and Demi Singleton. Just talk about how you chose to cast them, because you got to have some tennis chops, but also you need to be a strong child actor too. But did you feel a little love and protectiveness, and what was it like watching them on set to let them spread their wings? You're pretty much like King Richard, the dad of these two actresses.
Look, I'm definitely not their father, and I can't, look, we had look, to take on the responsibility that Sanaya and Demi, but and not just those two girls. Look, they are amazing, but they were truly part of. There were five girls in that VW bus, and a mother that was present, and it would be, I would be remiss to not mention the other girls involved in that process, because it only strengthened Sanaya and Demi's performances, because they really felt supported. They felt supported throughout that entire process. Their other sisters were picking up balls and hanging signs. And that's what I think we tried to do, especially within prep, was really build a family. One of the first things I said to Sanaya, even when we were early in prep, was like, you got to call Demi every night. You're the older sister. And they were spread out. Demi was living in New York, and Sanaya was living in Los Angeles. And part of becoming a family was doing all this off-screen work. And look, by the time we got on set, we had to rope them in. It was like, I was like, guys, hello, we're filming. Like they were so involved in what they were doing that, we literally had to rope them in, and like in the best way. It was like you can't get upset when these girls were loving each other. It was truly one of those things. And it's not always that way. And Jon, I'm can tell you, we've been on many sets where you call cut and people are running to trailers and people don't love each other. And like, we didn't have that. And that went in every single relationship in this film. And we were just lucky. But in terms of their talent and their skill set, it's second to none. This wasn't their first rodeo. Both Sanaya and Demi had, come off of big movies. They'd worked with big movie stars before, so they were consummate professionals. So you get really, really talented young actors that also just knew how to give you reps. I mean, they went through a rigorous 6-month training schedule to get their bodies in shape. I mean, they had never played an ounce of tennis in their life. And here they are, playing two of the greatest to ever do it. So I think it's a testament to who they are as people, who they are as performers. And I know Jon can speak to having been in scenes with them, how vulnerable and how just magnetic they are to be there. I have to tip my cap to them. Can't wait to see what they do next.
Oh yeah, there's tennis action sequences. Must have been fun to construct.
It wasn't that much fun. No, it was a
challenge.
It was painfully fun. It's always painfully fun to get it in. That part in the movie where Sanaya actually falls, it happened because she was tired. It was like at the end of the night in the final take, and we use it in the film. But like, she could have gotten she could have gotten hurt, and it was just because she had pushed herself to the limit. She pushed herself to the limit. And I think that's an important note to note. Like, she didn't have to do anything, right? It's an actor, allowing themselves to be so ingrained in who the character is to go there. And that's a 13-year-old girl pushing herself where she had nothing left. And it's an amazing moment in the film, and we use it. And I'm sure at the time it didn't feel that good when she fell down, but when she sees it in the film, I'm sure she feels pretty great that it meant something.
For sure. Well, they're giving me the go home. So final question. Tons of Oscar buzz for Will Smith. Obviously, he was close to winning for Ali, but lost to Denzel in Training Day, I believe. He was close in Pursuit of Happiness and lost to Forrest Whitaker for Last King of Scotland. Make the case why he should win here. This is the beginning of the Oscar push here, so this is award season. Hype Will. Why did he transform his transformation into King Richard? Why is this the year he should win?
Jon, take it.
From one actor to another.
Yeah. Look, what Will does in this movie, I mean, look, it's so beyond a beautiful performance. Will's the most generous actor I've ever worked with. He's the most generous human being I've ever been on a set with. And when I say generosity, it's in all ways. It's in all facets. He literally brings out the best for everybody. He creates an atmosphere on set where creativity can just flourish. But at the end of the day, the way he dove into this, the way in which he changed his body, he changed his demeanor, his ability to come off the cuff with like such unbelievable improvisation. He literally elevates this film in a way. Look, I've never been on a set and seen an actor do that before. And not only did he elevate the film with his own performance, but his performance was so lived in and rich and nuanced that it demanded that everybody had to come and bring it up and meet him on that level. I think that there's a beautiful ensemble in this movie, but it is all so clearly centered around, this man, this star. And it was an unbelievable thing to behold. And look, I don't know about awards, but there's no question in my mind, I've never seen anything like it on screen. And I've definitely never seen anything like it in person. I can't say enough good about Will Smith, and he's definitely got my vote.
And I'll just add, look, Venus, Serena, Oracene, the family has seen the movie, and when they can sink into the idea that is their father, it's a testament to Will's performance and what he gave, and they are 100% like blown away by Will Smith playing their dad, and that just goes to show you how well he crafted that performance. Will deserves all the credit in the world, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Well, there you go. They just both made the case to win that Oscar, and if it does, it'll be a full circle moment because in this movie shows that sometimes parents do understand. Hey, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. King Richard in theaters November 19th.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us on Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Remember to hit the subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time. I wanted to take a second to tell you about an app I really enjoy. Living in the DC area is great, and Podcast DC gathers all of the local shows that I like all in one local app. Health, sports, local news, politics, and so much more. Podcast DC is the new local app with hundreds of DC area podcasts to choose from. I can earn exciting rewards just for listening and share the podcasts I love instantly. Available in the App Store or in Google Play, listen local with Podcast DC.